Hey, good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Alex Kirchner. We're live here on our website, on our app, on the 13 WREX Facebook page, as well as live on YouTube. This is definitely a way to get severe weather information or any kind of weather information in between our broadcasts. And we're going to try to keep you up to speed on any kind of threats that we see coming up not only later this week, but later this spring. So make sure you've got this at least bookmarked in the back of your mind as to how you can get weather information from us. By the way, on the 13 WREX Facebook page, keeping an eye on the questions and comments. So if you want to interact with me and ask something about what's ahead for later this week, I'll be keeping an eye on those comments live here, and I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. So without any further ado, we are watching out for a wild end to the week. So first up, Friday afternoon, no storms, but strong gusty winds return. You can see that they'll be up to about 40 miles per hour, mainly out of the south. So be ready for another windy day. We've felt those a lot recently. We got another one around the corner. So that'll be Friday afternoon. And then by Saturday, those gusts are up even more. So we're talking about 50, possibly 55 miles per hour. So get ready for some high winds at times on Saturday as this next storm system moves through. And then we've got a chance for some rain and storms going into Friday night. Some could be on the strong to severe end. Got a question here from Stephanie. Do you think they will weaken by the time they get here? There is a good chance for that. So I'll go into how things are looking on Future Track, then I'll break down some of the pluses and minuses or pros and cons to seeing severe weather later on this week. So there definitely is a chance that they come in a little too late and end up fizzling out upon arrival. So here's Future Track. You can see that as we go into a Friday evening, we've got quiet weather locally, but things are firing up across Iowa. So as these storms continue to explode in that direction, could see severe weather to our west as we go throughout Friday evening. They probably won't get to our backyard until after 9 o'clock. The later they arrive, the more likely we'll see just regular showers and storms. So that's one thing I want you to plan for. We are getting some sort of rain Friday night. What still remains to be a question is just how severe that's all going to be as we go into Friday night. So you can see here storms rolling through during those overnight hours. They exit by early Saturday. Then that low pressure sitting almost right on top of us. So that's going to cause those winds to be up even stronger as we go into the start of the weekend. So we currently sit at a 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. All hazards would be possible if we're able to get those ingredients to line up. And that's why there's still some murkiness to this forecast, still some moving parts, some details that got to get figured out. And might not see how those come together until Friday afternoon. One question is how the humidity is doing. If the air is a little too well mixed, it could dry things out and cause those storms to fizzle. But if not, we could be looking at severe weather. So this is how things are shaping up right now. We definitely look at strong storms developing to our west and south. They'll be moving pretty fast, and at the very least, we're going to get a quick round of rain and thunder into Friday night. The details that still need to get worked out, again, are those storms weakening as they move in? We'll have to see just how unstable the atmosphere is at that point, and we might not necessarily know that until we get the data in Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Humidity a big player here. If it's a little extra humid, more likely we'll get severe storms. If it ends up being drier because of how the winds and things mix up the air throughout Friday afternoon, that'll also determine just how strong those storms will be. And then, of course, between all of that, just how widespread will we see those severe weather impacts. So that's why, again, not a slam dunk here, but want to at least get that on your radar. Yes, we've got the potential for severe weather, but you can see the couple little things that could cause that severe weather to fail before it gets here, cause it to fizzle before it gets here. So we will just continue to keep a close eye on the weather models, keep a close eye on the current conditions, how that's all shaping up as we get closer to Friday. And of course, we will then keep you up to speed as to what we're looking at. So right now, I definitely agree with the 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. Wind, hail, tornadoes, all possible sometime between 9 p.m. and midnight as of Friday night. The one thing I am questioning, though, is the timing of these storms. If they're coming in closer to 11 o'clock midnight like Future Track was showing, I've got my doubts that we'll see severe weather. But got to wait and see. We got to get closer to Friday to just kind of check in with how those storms are progressing. And again, that'll determine just what kind, if any, severe weather that we see. So that is kind of the rundown of what we're looking at meteorology-wise going into Friday. Again, plan on some winds, plan on some very strong winds at times Saturday, and then be ready for some rain showers, some storms as we go into Friday night. Some could be on the strong to severe end. And so what will happen really over the next 48 hours is that we will see this low pressure get onto shore. So, it's still out in the ocean. It's got to make its way onto land. We'll get better model data out of that once it's over land because send weather balloons and things into it. We'll gather more information. So by tomorrow, maybe this forecast is looking a little less murky. By the time we get to Friday, we've got more information. So we will just, again, kind of continue to take that in and update our forecast as we get more data and closer to that storm. So what you should do then is just stay informed like you're doing right now. So watch our broadcasts, keep an eye on our website. We'll be doing these kind of periodic little streams with the forecast. And so you're staying up to speed with the weather. That's the big thing. And then as we get closer to all of this, start thinking of your plans. Am I going to be out late Friday night? Am I going to the fish fry Friday night? What time am I doing this? Should I consider maybe bumping that up an hour so I can get home just in case those storms move through? So I'd say right now, especially tomorrow when you get the updated forecast, kind of start tweaking your plans a little bit. And really the big thing is pay attention to the updated forecast and kind of adjust from there. This is definitely not a run to the store and panic and be ready for severe weather. This is I'm going to start getting prepared right now, but I don't have to necessarily take drastic action just yet. So that is, just the word of advice right now. This is mostly just, we're going to keep you informed. There still could be a failure point here where we don't see any severe weather and it's just normal thunderstorms. So that's why I'm saying, you don't have to panic just yet. You don't have to go out and drastically cancel your plans just yet. But pay attention to the forecast. That's one thing you can do over the next 48 hours, and we will keep you up to speed as much as we can as we continue to keep an eye on all this. And try to get the word out nice and early, too, because this could be our first one of the spring season. We don't have a couple of those severe weather situations under our belt yet, so this is where, I want to get the word out nice and early so you can kind of knock that rust off a little bit. Start thinking about, well, where do I need to go if I have severe weather in my backyard, those kind of things. Check out our website, WREX.com. We've got a full article if you look for Severe Weather Preparedness Week. That was last week. It's got all the tips and reminders and things that you want to keep in mind when we do get severe weather, whether it happens to be Friday or not, or later this spring. Severe weather definitely happens to pop up a lot during the spring season. So check that out on our website, again, WREX.com. Search for Severe Weather Preparedness Week. That'll give you all those friendly reminders of what you should do, what you should think of, what you should start getting prepared, just in case severe weather comes along. So keeping an eye on some of the questions and comments live here on Facebook. I haven't seen too many just yet. We'll run through the forecast quick one more time for anybody that just jumped on so you can see windy weather ahead for Friday. Even if we don't see severe storms, those winds are going to pack a punch. And Friday night, be ready for rain and storms. And there is that low chance, that low risk we see some severe weather. So here's future track again. Friday will be mainly sunny and dry throughout a lot of the day. Then as we go deeper into the evening, that's when we have to watch out for those thunderstorms. They'll pop up to our west and south first and could be severe in Iowa sometime Friday evening. So that'll give us an indication just how those storms are progressing. Here we are a little later Friday night. You notice that future track right now has those showers and storms coming in pretty late, about 11 o'clock. The later they arrive, the less likely they'll be severe, so we'll have to see if this timing holds up or not. Showers and storms sweep through late Friday night, and then they're out by the time we get to Saturday morning, but that low pressure will be right on top of us, cranking those winds up to possibly 55 miles per hour with the wind gusts. So that's definitely something to watch. Again, even if we don't see much for storms, those strong winds may cause some minor tree damage and things over the course of Saturday. As for Friday night, though, 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather right now. That's if all these ingredients line up and the timing happens to go perfectly. You notice Just to our south, it's a 3 out of 5 risk for severe weather. So these storms could be much more violent just to our south, a little closer to Champaign, Peoria, Quincy, into the Quad Cities, really kind of just south of that I-80 corridor in a few spots. So that is something to definitely pay attention to. For us, it's again a matter of do we have the proper timing with all of this. So strong storms very likely to our west and south. They'll move in pretty quickly. Plan on at least some rain and thunder. But then for us, here's the failure points. Is it too late? Are the storms then weakening upon getting here? How humid will it be? That'll really determine just how severe things get for us, and then how widespread will those impacts be? Will it just be 1 or 2 storms, or will we be looking at a whole line of storms coming through? So those are the things that are TBD right now, but of course we will keep a very close eye on all these factors and let you know how that forecast updates over the next couple days. But if we get severe weather, a 2 out of 5 risk between about 9 p.m. to midnight as of Friday night. This is for tornadoes, wind, and hail. So these storms are going to bring a variety of threats if they're able to get up to that severe strength. And you noticed just a second ago, there are still some things to consider here. So over the next 48 hours, we're going to watch all of those variables. We'll update you accordingly. Later tonight at 10 o'clock, we'll have new data in, so I'll update you on the timing of these storms, how they're progressing, as well as over the next couple days, we'll keep you informed too. So watch Claudia Olick tomorrow morning. I'll be on again into the evening hours, and then, of course, Friday, we'll definitely be on top of it, keeping you informed as to how those storms are progressing. So stay tuned for the updated forecast later tonight at 10 o'clock. That's coming up in a little over an hour from now. We will see you then. Thanks for joining us here, and have a great rest of your evening.